Welcome back to Gaffer Salon. I'm John Roach, Gaffer here in New York City. Today we're going to have a quick look at accessory for Godox 4x1 Flex Matte Light. Now I did a whole video on these Godox products. I'm not going to dive into the assembly of the 4x1 mat itself. Suffice it to say, this is the mat. It's a Flex mat. All the full color line is completely IP rated, ballast header, head, all IP rated. So we want to look at what I think is a pretty genius accessory they've come out with, and that is this inflatable tube. Now, a lot of times if you go out and try to buy an inflatable light, and there are a lot of great ones, Pipe Lighting makes a lot of great stuff. Other folks make it, and oftentimes you'll find it has built-in LEDs, and you know, it's an expensive light. You're also buying the LEDs. But for me as a short form gaffer, doing docks, industrials, this is not something I would use every job. It's sort of a niche little thing that it's the perfect thing, similar in the same way taking a Titan tube and putting on a light sock is. Although here, you're going to get significantly more output, right? Versus a Titan tube or even a double Titan tube light sock. You've got I forget the wattage. I think it's 220, something like that. I'll drop it in. But significantly more output. And you don't have to buy a whole light. You could just buy the tube. So those times where you need a tube light, or you want to do a run and gun, or you're doing a walk at night and you want to have a nice soft thing on the end of a boom arm, this is the perfect thing because the mat just Velcros right here in the clear part to the back. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And then you just have a nice soft front. And so this took me about a minute to inflate. If you own any of the inflatable fronts that come with any of the full color mats, they all come with this little pump, which is fine. It's a basic little pump, AC, it works perfectly fine. I'm probably going to explore getting a battery powered one. I know Aperture made a nice battery powered ones for the Infinity mats. I don't know if they're cross compatible, but I'm sure there's sort of some battery powered pumps. I think, you know, just carrying one of these would be nice. Although this works perfectly fine. Blew this up in, you know, about a minute. We'll take a look at it assembled in a second, but it basically has a Velcro back plate, right? So this will Velcro onto the back, and then you can attach your mounting bracket. And this is probably my one complaint about this tube accessory kit. This is very heavy. It's ridiculously heavy for a lightweight tube. I would really prefer to see a lightweight bracket that has maybe just a baby pin, or for those times you want to put it on a boom pole. This adds a lot of weight on the end of a boom pole. So it seems a little overbuilt for me. I mean, if you got it on a C-stand or you're mounting it in the grid or whatever, you know, nobody cares. So that's probably my only complaint. But it is well made. And then in addition to that, the kit has two little Velcro hand straps. So you could attach these anywhere on the tube you want, and you can hand hold it. So there might be times where you want to take the ballast, attach a couple of V-mount batteries. These happen to be 26 volt, 270 watt Nanlite batteries. In this configuration, this is about 13 pounds, but you could easily put this in a backpack, have your header cable coming out, and be perfectly portable with a fairly powerful tube light fixture in this 4-foot form factor. So the kit all comes packed in a very small little condensed bag like this. And then in addition, you get two really nice extra options. You get an egg crate, which we'll take a look at, and you get a skirt. So if you wanted to do a top-down soft light in this form factor, the skirt's included, the egg crate's included. I haven't seen a final shipping price. I'm not even sure they've started shipping these yet. I couldn't find it last night on B&H. If I can get a price, I'll drop it in. My understanding was it's somewhere around $200, plus or minus. So I'll drop that price in. But I believe it's supposed to be shipping any day. Now, if you happen to see, I did, when I was in China, so Luke Servald, Andrew Locke, Travis Weirs, myself, we went to China essentially to consult with Godox, to tour the factory, to sit down with them, with their engineers, their software, their hardware engineers, their sales teams, their marketing team. We were all in a big room together and really tried to discuss what the four of us saw as things they were doing really well, things maybe they were having some issues on, and we went through just a lot of stuff, and it was a fantastic trip. And so I had done a little walkthrough when I was in the showroom, and I spotted a 2-foot version of this, which I just had assumed was for the 2x1 matte light. This one would be a 4-foot for the 4x1, but in fact, that was made for their 2-foot tube lights. So I was really encouraging them to consider making a 2-foot version for the 2x1 matte light, because I just feel like the cost of this product is so little because you already own the light. It just turns into a great accessory to have. And, you know, us guys, short form people like me, we're doing, these days, more often than not, lower budget stuff. They never have the money. So that's one of the things I really appreciate about Godox is they sort of, I think, very strongly target that mid-tier pro market, right? You don't get all the whistles and bells you might need on a feature episodic TV show. You're not getting pixel zones and the mattes and pixel control, but you're getting really decent color metrics. You're getting a fully IP-rated fixture, and you're coming in at a price point that is astonishingly low. So that just allows me to bring more stuff to the party. When I have a $2,000 budget or a $2,500 budget, and I'm buying this 4x1 mat for, what is it, $1,100 or something, I can add this accessory. And then, you know, I spruce up a little bit because the mats at Godox just come with one diffusion. So I have Jason over at Brooklyn Softlight. I just got an enormous shipment from him. And I had him make me diffusions for every single Godox mat that I have. And I own pretty much 2 of everything. I've got 2 of the 4x1s, 2 of the 2x1s, 2 of the 2x4s. I own 1 4x full color. Then I've got 4 4x4 bicolors, a couple 2x4 bicolors, quite a few. So Jason has made all the diffusions for me. So I carry the usual suspects, right? Magic cloth, quarter grid, half grid, and unbleached muzz are usually my standards. And occasionally I'll do a soft frost or a full grid. For this round, I decided the difference between full grid and magic, you know, I think full grid, half grid, quarter grid, magic, unbleached muzz kind of is a nice mix. And so I roll that all into my price. And usually try to get around a 15-day ROI, and that's how I set my prices, which may be different from other people, but you know, I always want to go out and have everything with me because you never know what's going to shift and change on set, so you want all those options with you. So I'm going to assemble this, and we'll take a closer look. So here's the start of the configuration, right? I've got the mat Velcroed in the back. It's a little trickier if it's fully inflated. You might want to go like 3/4 of the way, attach the mat, then top it off. But if you're just careful the way you do this, after you do it once or twice, you'll figure out exactly how to line this up and get it to fit. And then you've got your Velcro mount for your back plate. And if you can see here, there's a screw hole here, and that's where it locks in. So you want to be sure when you align the plate, you've got a locking mechanism that wants to be lined up in the correct orientation so that once you're in, you can lock this on, and then you can be sure that's not going to come off. So it is Velcroed on. There is a little bit of play in here, but for the most part, I think it's negligible and it's to be expected for this kind of a configuration. So here it is assembled, mounted on a stand, pretty straightforward. It's not complicated. It's at 20% at 5,600 right now. So as you would imagine, this just sort of snugs up over the tube and it Velcros in at the top. And on the sides, there's a little zipper. So if you loosen that zipper, it's a little easier to slide it over. And then you can close the zipper. There's a zipper on either side. Now you do have a little bit of light leakage here. You know, you might have to put some 4-inch BPT, black paper tape here, if you're in a dark room, and that's going to present a problem. It's a compromise, I think, for the speed in which this goes together. It's a minor annoyance that I'm willing to accept given the cost and speed of application here. In a lot of situations, it's probably going to be not an issue. For the few times it is, I think it's easy enough just to put a little bit of paper tape up. This sticks out a little ways from the tube, so I think it gives you a reasonably good cut. And I think for the money, this is a pretty nice 8-crate solution. I'm not going to stick it on but it does come with this Velcro skirt, which is, what is that, 2 foot roughly. And the inside of this is silver, which I think is very handy in a lot of situations because it does help bounce that light. If you're doing a top down, sometimes it can help dig into the eyes a little bit better. And if silver's not the right solve for your particular application, you could certainly just skirt this with you know, black plastic or duvetine or commando cloth or what have you. But the fact that the skirt and the egg crate are included, and again, I don't have a final price point, but this is going to be ridiculously cheap. So I'm going to have, I own 2 of the 4x1s, definitely going to have one for each. I'm already thinking I might add a few more 4x1s because for me, it's kind of the hero in the lineup. Maybe just because I'm old school and I come from a background where every job we used to use 4x4 Kino flows. And this size, in its regular matte form, is so similar to a 4x1 tube. And I think a lot of times that linear spread is what you want. I mean, that's something that, you know, Tim Kang, back in his Quasar Science days, he and I had numbers of discussions about that idea of a linear source and the sort of wrappiness of a linear source versus its height often can be as beautiful and as soft as something that's larger but the same linear length. So tube lights for me, whether it's the Astera in light socks, the Astera tubes in general, or 4x1 matte light, these are really, I think, it's a real nice sweet spot for me in my lineup. So I'm kind of wanting to own 4 of these. I own 2 of these right now, and I'm really hoping that they come out with a 2x1 of the inflatable tube for the 2x1 F200SR matte. I think that would be fantastic. And I'd like to see a much lighter weight additional bracket for those times where you want to put it on a boom pole or where the weight of the original one is just going to be too much for you know, particular applications where you need to keep the whole thing pretty light. So the last thing to look at is the attachment of the handles. So we'll take a look at that. So lastly, we'll take a look at the carry handles. There are 2. Obviously, they Velcro on the back. You can position them anywhere that makes the most sense. And then you're sort of free to, you know, Hollywood handhold this thing, freestyle it. Really great accessory. So all in all, this little accessory kit, I think, is well thought out. Just going to be ridiculously affordable, and it really helps to transform your 4x1 matte light and make it just extremely versatile for a variety of situations. So for me, it's like I said, it's a no-brainer. Again, the only problem and complaint I had was the heaviness of this backplate. I think it would be easy enough for them to make a lightweight, just stubby little baby pin. That would be terrific. Another really thing I think would be super useful, I don't know if I've seen this, is a lot of times when we're doing like an Astera light sock situation or some kind of light, we're always booming it out. So rather than having to, you know, Modern Studio makes it, it goes on the end of a boom pole, you end up with a baby pin, then you have to put oftentimes a gobo head on and then attach your light. It'd be great to have a clamp that just goes literally to a screw thread, female screw thread that could go right onto the male screw thread of a boom pole, and it had a lockdown for the articulation of that, and then you could just screw it right in and, you know, be ready to go. I think that would make a terrific accessory, particularly for something like this, which frequently does end up at on the end of a boom pole. That about wraps it up. Thanks for watching. I'll have some other Godox products down the road. On a slow boat from China right now is their new 8x8 matte lights. So sometime, I guess, late October, early mid-November, we're going to do a deep dive into this brand new 8x8 Godox matte light. There's also a 4x8. They sent me the 8x8, so we're going to look at that. And a shout out to Sin Power and Light. If you've ever had a chance to meet Terry Meadows, we had been sort of online friends. I finally got to meet him, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago, one of the Cine Gear shows. Lovely guy. And Terry owns, I believe, the largest collection of working, fully restored arc lights in the country, in the US. So if you have a chance, take a look at his Instagram. There's a lot of pictures of some of these beautiful, restored, functioning arc lights, which still work, still go out. And he often does classes and workshops or demo days. So if you're in LA, highly recommend hooking up and checking out Sin Power and Light and Terry Meadows and family. Thanks for watching. See you back in Salon.